young forever. That's I really believe in life and in my own personal philosophy that, young forever is a state of mind. I think my mom taught me that, where, you're only as old as you feel. And I know it's a cliche statement, but it really is. I don't feel, age is a limitation. I see a lot of people. I have a good friend that's like 75. We went mountain biking, and he was kicking my butt. I'm like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's perfect proof that if you stay in shape and you take care of yourself, you can rock it. So, young forever, that state of mind. I think, if you keep that mentality and you have in your heart, it's contagious.
That's Seattle's One Step From Everywhere playing their song Young Forever from their latest album, Somewhere in Between, available on Spotify, iTunes, and check out the Better Each Day show notes for more. The band is bass player Simon, Craig on drums, Chris with the hot licks on lead guitar, and today's guest, guitarist, lead vocalist, songwriter, and super cool dude, James Carr.
Welcome to the Better Each Day podcast radio show with Bruce Hilliard. Today and every day, reaching out for innovative ideas in every way. Today's show is brought to you by your future. It comes with a lifetime guarantee. Make a better stay now, baby. Better in every way.
How many guys are in your band? I see pictures of it's a 4-piece, but...
We've had an eclectic mix of members over the years. We started with 5, and then the last incarnation we had 4. We kind of went down to more of a rock. We took out the keys, and then when we recorded the last album, we were kind of like, well, the keys were kind of an integral part of the whole music, and so we're still looking for a new keyboardist that'll fit in with us.
Who came up with the name One Step From Everywhere?
When I first got the band together, coming up with a name is so hard.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's also the funniest meeting you'll ever have with the band.
Yeah, there's always some crazy stuff. Actually, funny, off our first EP, we have a song called Last Man on the Moon. I was like, well, that I don't remember if it was exactly that, but it was something to that effect. And, I really like a lot of different spiritual practices, and I from the Tao Te Ching, I was like, a 1,000-mile journey starts with one step, and kind of, thought about, going back and starting a new band after being on a hiatus for a long time. I thought it'd be kind of cool to, play on that. It's like, wherever you want to go in life, you're just really one step, no matter where you want to go. The hard part is getting your butt in gear and actually doing it. Oh. Yeah, my bass player, unfortunately, he gives me a hard time. He's like, man, the name's too long, so. We've thought about shortening it, but I really like it, so.
I do too.
Gain popularity, we can maybe abbreviate it to, OSFE.
Yeah, and
until that point, you got to kind of put the whole thing out there.
You've established it now. People know who you are, so you don't want to change it.
Well, I'm not worldwide, so I guess it's never too late.
You're only one step.
Well, I guess we kind of are. We were joking. Our last EP really did well in Brazil. It seemed like we had a huge following in Brazil. How that worked out, I don't know. But
oh, really? Well, that's cool. Well, it could be one step from any name, huh?
Right.
That's cool. What do you play? I'm guessing you're a guitar vocalist.
Yes, that's me. Yeah, I sing and I play rhythm and occasionally play some lead, but mostly just trying to sing and get the words across.
I haven't seen you live, but your music sounds like it's totally made to be played live.
It's it's tough. All my favorite bands in the world, the albums are good, but when you see them live, it's just another world. And for us, that's I think what it really is. The most important part is playing live and getting out there in front of a crowd and that energy that we change back and forth. For me, I don't think I've ever had a higher high when everybody's into it and just the whole crowd. I've seen so many shows as a young man, and that was the turning point for me. I'm like, God, this is really where people can really connect And especially when, someone comes afterwards and says, hey man, that song really touched me and it meant a lot to me. And, what we're thinking and, get into that conversation. But, that definitely the live aspect of our whole music is what we live for sure.
That's the best. Are there any concerts that you've gone to that stand out?
Oh man, that's a good question. There's tons. I know probably, I've always loved music. Music was definitely an outlet for me to express myself at an early age. But I don't think I understood rhythm until I saw my first Dead show. I remember my good friend telling me, man, you're going to see the light. Now, obviously there was other things helping with that, but
yeah.
When the music started and I just watched how they were able to just almost like feel each other. I had no idea what that was about, but I knew that not only did they connect on a deeper level, but the crowd was right there with them. And I just kind of got lost in that world. And it was amazing. Like, wow, music is much more powerful than I had ever imagined. And it was definitely I think a life-changing moment for me on how music really touches the soul and how it is a connector of people. So yeah, it was probably, that one was probably an awesome one. I also remember seeing Johnny Cash at a fair, and somehow that being something really cool. Not even knowing how awesome he was, but just the whole thing with June Carter, and it was definitely another big moment too.
So the connecting with the audience thing is a fascinating thing. It's funny you mentioned the Grateful Dead. I recently read very, very long Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run autobiography, and he mentions the Grateful Dead. I don't know if you've read it, but for the listeners, hey, check it out, because if you get the audio version of it, it's Springsteen narrates it, but the guy is just like his lyrics. He goes on and on, but it's very poetic the way he does it. But he talks about the Grateful Dead, and his take on it was, he's seen 100 bar bands that are way better than they were, but the fact that they connected with the audience the way they do really fascinated him. And I think that's always been kind of one of his strong points as well.
Being an East Coast guy myself, I'm a huge Springsteen fan. And yes, I did read that. And I was really bummed I never got to see him in the heyday. But even now, I've seen him a couple times. I'm just like, man, that guy can control the whole crowd, and obviously has some amazing songs too, but definitely telling stories. And I think a lot of early bands I saw, they definitely told a lot of stories, and I try to do that too, so people kind of get familiarized. And especially when you're doing original music here, it's easy for people to go, what the heck is this, and get lost. So at least if you give them a kind of a narrative a little bit beforehand, I know a lot of people have come up, hey, I got, kind of prepped me for that song. That was great, and I got a lot more out of it than I would have if I just heard it and maybe not paid attention because I didn't really know what it was about. And yeah, it's kind of drawn people in to what you have to say.
Perfect segue into what we're doing here, because that's really the premise of this whole thing. Is a lot of times you appreciate a song a lot more if you know what it's about, or what it's not about even, sometimes. But who does most of the writing? Is it you? I
do all the writing, yeah. So when I started the band, I had not really written in a long time. And I got kind of motivated with some friends, just kind of jamming around and having fun again. And I was like, man, I want to start an original band again. So I had a plethora of songs that I just started cranking out that were just pouring out of me. And unfortunately, like I said, the lineup changes, when you're trying to find that perfect fit, it can be difficult. And right when you get everything rolling, then you kind of have to start again, teaching, having people learn the new songs. And so that's kind of been the bane of our band thus far, is having a steady lineup for a longer period of time than just learning the songs and be able to start to write. But it's been cool. My bass player and I have been collaborating on some songs, so that's starting to grow. And our new guitar player already mentioned he had some songs, and so I'm really excited to get on some new material here with them and making a more of a collaborative effort rather than me just, hey, look what I've got.
You're on the right track. I really love your stuff. Young Forever. Tell me about Young Forever.
Young Forever. That's I really believe in life and in my own personal philosophy that, young forever is a state of mind. I think my mom taught me that, where, you're only as old as you feel. And I know it's a cliche statement, but it really is. You know, I don't feel, age is a limitation. I see a lot of people. I have a good friend that's like 75, and we went mountain biking, and he was kicking my butt. I'm like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
You know, that's perfect proof that if you stay in shape and take care of yourself, you can rock it. So, you know, young forever, that state of mind, you know, I think, you know, if you keep that mentality and you have in your heart, it's contagious. You know, I think all my friends and stuff that we spend time with, boy, we laugh really hard. And I think that kind of was a homage to them and you know, just trying to be in that moment, be in the moment with who you're with and just really enjoying it. And I think that's what I tried to capture in that song was, you know, it's like, yeah, just being young and keeping that mindset.
1, 2, 3, 4. Will the summer sun shine down on a body? We were making love, whoa, like we were 17. And in that moment, I was lost in you and you were lost in me. We were two souls shining awake inside a dream. And it's the kind of feeling that feels so right. Never want it to end. Gotta make it last all night. Oh, it's like summertime on an endless groove. Everybody letting it all hang loose. Wishing that the day could be like this. Give me one more chance at that first kiss. Ain't gonna leave one song unsung. We'll say goodnight to the morning sun. 'Cause that was just a state of mind. You gotta make the most out of your time beyond forever. We were laughing, having ourselves a good time. And we raised a toast to all that was and all that's yet to be. In that moment, I was wild and young, innocent and free. Well, time's been kind, give me real good friends, share my company. It's the kind of feeling that feels so right. Never want it to end. Gotta make it last all night. Oh, it's not summertime on an endless groove. Everybody letting it all hang loose. Wishing every day could be like this. Give me one more chance with that first kiss. Ain't gonna leave one song unsung. We'll say goodnight to the morning sun. 'Cause that was just a state of mind. Gotta make the most out of your time beyond forever. And it's the kind of feeling that feels so right. Never want it to end. Gotta make it last all night. You gotta make it last all night. Beyond forever. Let's be on forever. Wanna be on forever. Oh, you by my side all through the night. Every little thing's gonna be alright. It's like summertime on an endless groove. Everybody letting it all hang loose. Wishing every day could be like this. Give me one more chance with that first kiss. Ain't gonna leave one song unsung. We'll say goodnight to the morning sun. 'Cause that was just a state of mind. Gotta make the most out of your time beyond forever. Let's be on forever.
Guys are super good.
Thank you so much.
Do Some Living.
Do Some Living is that's one of my older tunes. We actually did a basic demo with the original band, and the song has evolved. You know, that's the fun thing with music is what my vision was when I started. And like, here's this song, and it's just evolved tremendously over the last couple of years. And I said, man, I want to re-record this one again, and because the drummer kind of said, hey, let's change it up a little bit and change some of the rhythmic qualities of it, and it really evolved into something that I was not ready for, and that I was just, wow, that really kind of made the song even better. And you know, it's funny, it's just kind of a fun song. I sat down to write. I was like, you know, what if two people met at a concert, you know, like whether it be a hippie fest or just, you know, I know a lot of people go to raves and stuff like that, and you know, and you meet someone and you hang out and you get, you know, this feeling, this vibe, and you almost fall in love for that brief moment in time, and then, you know, at the end of it, you go your separate ways, and realizing, wow, you know, what an amazing time, and you know, that you can live a lifetime in a short period of time, you know. So it's a lot of people just kind of get in that mundane rut of 9 to 5, and then the weekend, you know, whatever you do. But you know, I think I've always kind of tried to grab the bull by the horns and just really enjoy every moment, whatever you got to do. Get up in the mountains, go to a show, I don't know, whatever you're into. But yeah, so Do Some Living was kind of like, you know, just that kind of expression of meeting someone and enjoying the time together, and realizing that just live it up while you can.
Well, she wasn't laughing. Cinnamon hair spilling all around, and he was nowhere. A little lost, hoping to be found. A little joke could take a high. He was trying to light a fire in the heart of a girl in a flowered sundress. And she wasn't looking for a thing, just a riding on the wings of a multicolored dream, thinking this is as good as it gets. Oh yes. Headed east or west, well they couldn't care less, trying to apologize with the morning light. Tomorrow will never come this way. All gonna do some living today. Grooving down the freeway, 1 mile away, but feeling alright. Well, now there's no Monday morning. Whoa, when every day's Saturday night. They were walking through a haze of psychedelic days as the music played beneath the summer sky. Yeah, they couldn't get much higher, but that was all they desired. Take a kaleidoscope moonbeams in their eyes. Oh my, my. They didn't know if those child was time to figure it out. Walking hand in hand to the promised land. Tomorrow will never come this graceful, easy coming down. Well, saw with the curves of her body, whoa, they spoke their love without a sound. With no stars to navigate, the paths to separate as the fingers slip. Oh, there was no goodbye. And as she faded in the crowd, they had to laugh aloud. How the life can change in a wink of an eye. Oh, that's right. Headed homeward bound with the feet on the ground. It's fair to say, will come what may. Tomorrow will never come this way. Do something every day.
That's a great message. I think people get a little bit complacent sometimes and they forget there's a lot of wonderful things to be doing out there. And you have an appetite for adventure, it sounds like. You don't sit around.
Yeah, I at an early age, I grew up in a small town and in Pennsylvania, and I just felt like I didn't belong. Not that I didn't belong, it just like there was more. And as soon as I could ride a bike, I started riding further and further, and then I moved at 19 to Hollywood, which was pretty crazy. But boy, what a great adventure that was. And just, I think my whole life has been just kind of that, just go out and find out what the world has to offer and see what my place is in it.
So you hail from Issaquah now, correct?
I do.
How did you end up in Issaquah after Hollywood? I mean, everybody knows you go to Hollywood and then you go to Issaquah.
Well, I did, yeah, that's all, yeah. Hollywood, I played around there with some bands. And
that's not that far-fetched,
fun,
actually, yeah. A lot of people end up in Bainbridge Island for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I actually, when I got fed up with all the baloney down there, my good friend was up here in Seattle. He said, man, this is just such a great place, and the people are just awesome, and they have Dick's Drive-In. we say places like, and so I actually lived in Mukilteo, and we met this drummer and my good brother who lived right by the Woodland Park Zoo. So we got to practice at his place and just outside of that zoo, and we'd have a little break time, and you'd hear the lions roar, and it was just what a magical time that was when Seattle was
that's cool.
Just really kind of booming with the music, and it was pretty awesome. Yeah.
How long ago was that?
94. Actually, I think I moved here in 92, and we played probably from 92 to 94 until we separated.
That's when Sub Pop was pumping out the grunge guys and all that stuff.
They were, yeah. That was the scene here that was just so awesome, and the people were. Not that it's not now. It's just evolved.
You guys are kind of a southern rock flavor.
I've kind of always gone against the grain. Even when I moved here, we didn't really have the grunge. I was doing my own thing. It's just who I am and how I write. I grew up listening to a lot of music. I don't think there's really anything I don't like other than maybe hardcore gangster rap. But
you and me both.
Right. But, there's from the Allman Brothers to Skinner to, just all those kind of the Doors and Zeppelin, they kind of touched on so many genres.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Especially Zeppelin. And I just didn't want to be put in a box. So the new album definitely shines a lot of different flavors. But yeah, at the root, I just really love that classic rock guitar sound. And just, for me, that was such a powerful era where there's a lot of messages going on. And the rock was just kind of starting to really kick before it kind of got into the 80s and took a turn differently.
Yeah, gosh, the your melodies are great. I think a lot of times melodies are overlooked and there aren't harmonies anymore. I don't know what happened to that. Was there a law passed that said you can't have it that way anymore? I don't know. You guys
That's a good question. I don't know. There's a lot of great bands out there. I try to find as much as original music as I can, just to see what's out there. And there's really a lot of music out there, and just the mainstream is not picking up on it.
That's it.
There's a lot of great bands here in Seattle that we've played with, and that I've listened to and I've gone to see, and it's just the world has kind of gone more rap which is fine. You know, there's definitely some great artists doing it.
There's an ebb and flow to
genre of rock.
Yeah,
What's that?
An ebb and flow to everything. I think things will kind of come come your way.
Thinking the other day, I was like, man, of the Who, and you know, I was thinking, when they're saying, you know, rock is dead, I was like, has it finally come to that? I hope not. I feel like you know, there's definitely, you know, that what goes around comes around, and I think it'll definitely come back into the, you know, the spotlight again. At least that's my hopes.
I think you're spot on. I speak with a lot of younger people. When I say younger, like 30 and younger, and I'm hearing stuff. Now and then I'll hear there's a new band. You should hear them, Led Zeppelin. It's like, yeah, I know. It seems to be coming full circle, and I'm hearing a lot of stuff that I used to listen to in the 70s that's kind of coming back around.
There's no doubt. I mean, the musicality of everything, and I'm sure the drugs helped out a lot, but you know, it was open minds, and it wasn't such a world where, you know, I think with a lot of social media, it can, I'm not saying it does, but I think it can make you think, well, what can I write to be a hit, and or what would fit the style. And you know, I've just never been that kind of person, and I just want to write what I like and what makes me feel good, and what I can really express myself with and feel good at the end of the day, not going, well, I tried to sell out and be this kind of certain type. And I feel like a lot of people, you know, or a lot of the social media kind of, you know, can make or break you, and that's a sad world, because back in the day, you know, you went to a record store, and I remember the first album I bought, I walked in, I saw these two guys standing next to each other, and there's a guitar neck sticking out of the one guy. I'm like, what the heck is this? This looks awesome. And it was AC/DC, Let There Be Blood, and I took that home. I was like, oh, what the hell? This is great. And it's sprung more from there, where your social media was, you walked into a record store and there was the album on the back. It might have some stuff, and then you get in and get home, and now there's stuff in the middle maybe, and you know, the lyrics were inside the sleeve sometimes, and it was just magical because you didn't have it. And now we're so inundated with so many things. It's that as soon as somebody puts out a new song, somebody listens to it, and then there's 50 more right behind it. So it's stuff.
What you just described was like a ritual of buying an album, and the part you left out is then you call your buddies, and then they all come over, and you put it on, you crank it up, and there's nothing quite like it, and social media will never be able to replicate that. I don't care what you say. No,
and that was a social hour, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely I remember my good friend had an older brother, and I think that, you know, because during that period, you know, there was different music coming on, and he's like, you guys, what the hell are you listening to? And that's when, you know, pulled out some great stuff, to Thin Lizzy and Zeppelin, and listened to the Who, and just all this amazing classic rock, and that was life changing. I remember just looking at the album like, who are these guys and what are they all about? And now you can Wikipedia them and know every single thing about where they were born. It kind of lost the secretiveness and you know, your imagination to run wild.
And it doesn't smell like vinyl.
Yeah.
When you open the record up, you know. You've got a lot of enthusiasm for what you do, and that's so refreshing. Everybody's got day gigs, I'm sure, and there's a lot of things that go on to have a band, and you do a lot of things for nothing, just out of the joy, out of the passion of playing music. So don't lose that. That's good. I want to come and see you guys. Looks like you're playing in Seattle here coming up.
Awesome, Bruce. It was great talking with you. I appreciate you reaching out to us and letting us do this.
You've been listening to the Better Each Day podcast radio show with Bruce Hilliard. We'll be back with a new horizon, but until then, honor the future. It comes with a lifetime guarantee.
And we're all just trying to make the next day a bit better.